Hi, thank you guys for tuning in. This is Raw Autism Perspective podcast. My name is Samantha.
My name is Ed.
And I'm Brittany.
Today, we're going to be discussing about what is autism to you. Different people have different perspectives of what autism is, but we're here to give our personal and raw opinions about what autism means to us and so forth. So let's start with Brittany.
Ooh, jumping right off the back here. So what does autism mean to me? Autism is a different way of experiencing the world. It is not a problem to be fixed, but it is a perspective that needs understanding.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can dig it.
How do you feel about it?
Autism to me is simply, in my opinion, learning difference. In my eyes, I feel like people make it a disability when I feel like it's just a different way of learning, comprehending certain things, because whether you're on a high or low spectrum, learning is still a capability that everybody can have. So I just think it's a different way of learning.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like people kind of, my personal opinion, I just feel like people kind of put the autism community in a different light to where it makes it seem as if they're not normal. They're not, regular, but it's kind of like, what is normal? Like we've talked about that in our videos previously. And I feel like that's something that it just doesn't make sense because they learn so different. They show their emotions different. They tolerate pain differently than us. And it's not to say that they're bad to the world or anything like that because they're brilliant, but I just feel like we just have to help them learn differently. We don't have to show them our ways. We can actually show them a better way of thinking, a better way of living, all that. And hopefully people come around and they understand that these children, these adults, they think differently, but they're so intelligent. They're so beautiful. They're so down to earth. They have different personalities. So I just feel like autism is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing.
I can dig it. I agree.
Yeah.
I love that perspective that you have because you all know I was diagnosed with ADHD. And I've actually was diagnosed with that at 6 years old. And then I was diagnosed again at 27. And there's different levels of autism, right? So there's level 1, then there's level 2 and level 3. And what they say is that that's all based off of the support needs. And myself, I've done a lot of reflecting, and I also resonate with autism level 1 with the struggle with relationships and the struggle with friendships and then the struggle with like the daily life. And I feel like a lot of people, what they don't understand is that sometimes autism can be invisible. And even though it's invisible, it doesn't mean there's not a struggle behind the scenes.
Right.
So it's not always obvious that there's autism in the mix, that there's ADHD in the mix. So, yeah.
And isn't it crazy how before, like back in the old days, people would just say like, oh, they have Down syndrome or they must be sick or, things like that. And it's kind of like, no, they just have a different disability. I don't like calling it that, but that's what society believes that it is, a disability. And it's just kind of like, it's a different way of learning and taking, processing differently. And we all don't process the same information the same on a day-to-day basis. And people think that, autism is a letdown. It's a setback, not knowing that who has had autism, Albert Einstein.
Yeah.
And that man was a genius.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I think of it like, well, if he could do it, why can't my daughter do it? Why can't anybody that we know that have autism, can flourish in life? So I think people need to get their minds together on what autism is really about.
Yeah, read about it. I think most people read about certain subjects, but then they don't actually engage in it. Just because you do research on it don't mean that you shouldn't engage on it. You read about it now go to somewhere that you know that has an autism week or has some awareness project going on, so you can actually go hand in hand and actually witness it and get engaged with people who have autism.
Yeah.
So you actually really know what it is instead of just reading it.
Yeah. And saying like, oh, autism, everybody with autism are the same.
No,
They're
That's-
not.
no, not
And
at
just
all.
like how you were saying, like, if you go to an event, I promise you're going to see different kids, different adults act so different. Some people could tolerate noise. Some people can't tolerate noise. Some people can't tolerate you touching them. It's just all different things. Some people don't need sensory toys. Some others do. So it's just kind of like everyone, no matter what, is still different. They just have this autistic label that people just think that you guys are all the same. And it's not like that. I know autistic people who have great penmanship, and some autistic people do not.
Yeah.
But they know when that song comes on, they know every word. And that person, I mean my daughter. So it's like, you got to give them grace because they know what they're doing in life. So let's go to the next one.
Yes.
So your own personal definition, and that's kind of big to kind of dissect, like your own personal definition of what autism is to you.
So what's your personal definition of what autism is to you?
That's hard because I've seen a lot just with my daughter, and
Indeed.
it's just like she has, I don't know, it's like how we were just talking about labels. Like, I'm going to be honest, when I see her, I don't see a person that has autism. And not just because I birthed her, but just her personality. I don't see it. And maybe everybody else does because she doesn't talk that much. But it's just kind of like, to me, I feel like autistic people are down to earth. I'm going to just keep it 100. I think they're down to earth. I think they're the realest people. Because they're going to tell you when they don't like something, they're going to pop you, or they're going to say no, or they're going to run away. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that. They don't like to talk about the rough part. They like to cover it up and doctor it up and say, oh, well, I think this, and I think you should study on that, and it's okay. and and the mother in the background is like, girl, I'm ready to pull my hair out. This girl yelling, take it from me. This girl yelling, I want to run in the corner. I want to cry in the shower.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, go sit your butt down somewhere. But at the end of the day, that's my love pie. So I just think she's everything.
I think that's where you and my own mom relate, because I remember my mom also wanting to pull her hair out because of how insane I was. Mind you, I have ADHD in the mix too. So I was very hyperactive, very jumping off the walls. I was very blunt and impulsive, and you couldn't tell me nothing without me giving you an opinion right back, which I'm learning to work with now in my 30s. I'm noticing things that might not be socially acceptable, but as a kid, you couldn't tell me anything. Okay.
Right.
And I remember my mom wanting to pull her hair out and being like, oh my God, what is wrong with this child? But one of the things that I love about today is that we are talking about it. We are trying to figure out, okay, how can we not fix this, but how can we work with this? How can we navigate this? How can we say, okay, well, you have autism. So how do I now make your life easier, right? Because that's what you're doing as her mother. You're just like, all right, this is what you have. So now how do we navigate it? You're not trying to fix it. You're just trying to work with it.
Right.
And that, I think, is the most beautiful thing that you could absolutely do.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
I agree. So Brittany, what is your personal relationship with autism? Other than what you just told us right now.
Well, so my own personal thing is I'm very, very, very analytical. I will dwell on a conversation months after the conversation has happened. How could I have done it better? What could I have said differently? Did I say the right things? And it's not like, oh, everybody does that. Because I love that comment. Oh, well, everybody has a little bit of ADHD, or everybody has a little bit of autism, right? It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. Every now and then, one of us has a struggle that somebody with autism has. But is it every day? Because that's the big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could struggle with overwhelm. Yeah, you could struggle with staying on task. But is it something that you have to every single freaking day? Okay, today we're going to do, and this is my own personal experience.
Yeah.
Today, here's my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow my schedule. Do I follow my schedule? My autism says this is the plan. Let's freaking get this done. And then my ADHD is like, well, maybe we can do this instead, or maybe we can go over there. And then I'm like, no. So it's like an internal battle almost every single day with what's socially acceptable, how you're supposed to be in the world, who you're supposed to be, and then who you really are.
Right.
So question, do you feel like you should be worried about what they think socially?
Yes. Every single day of my life, I have felt like socially, I need to be accepted in order to thrive in the world. And if I'm not accepted, which we shouldn't care what others think, right? But as somebody who struggles as a neurodivergent, that it's like you're constantly told you're not good enough. You're constantly told, oh, what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing is incorrect. You're not supposed to do it that way. And then you're like, but I'm getting the same results, or I'm doing exactly what you're asking for. I just kind of went in a different direction. No. That's not the direction that you're supposed to go in.
Right.
You're supposed to go A to Z, and you went Z, B, J, D, E, F, R.
But did the job get completed?
Exactly.
That part.
Yeah.
You're worried about an order, but did it get completed?
Did the job get done?
So it is like a social stress. Like, okay, if I verbalize the way that I'm trying to do things, is it going to be looked at weird? Just last week, I was told, oh yeah, you're too loud. You're too bright. You're too much. And that intimidates me and scares me. And that's not the first time I've heard that. So it's like an everyday thing where you're just trying to not be too much, but also try to shine bright, right? Because as they tell you, you got to live in your truth. You got to be who you want to be, but don't be too much.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be too loud. Don't be too extra. Just kind of like go and fit in with everybody else, do what everybody else is doing, and bye.
Because that's the norm.
Mm-hmm.
My personal experience with autism has been with coaching. And I've coached numerous kids with autism. Mm-hmm. I've coached numerous kids with ADHD. Mm-hmm. I've been around numerous kids. I have family members that are autistic. I have family members that have a lot of ADHD. Personal experience, I coach the kids the same way I coach everybody else. Because some kids get it when you show them. And that's not even with an autistic kid. That's with regular kids. Mm-hmm. Some people are visual learners. Some people are word learners. Mm-hmm. Some people are action learners. And a lot of kids that I coach are action learners. Like they want to get out there and smack something, or they want to catch the ball, or they want to throw the ball. So what I do is I attack what they want to do. And I just help them get better at what they want to do. And they become better players. But then they also become better students in the classroom because the discipline that we taught them on the football field, they transferred into the classroom. Mm-hmm. So I love coaching, and I love coaching kids just in general, because what is, like how we said in the beginning, normal? What is normal? Mm-hmm. You know, none of us are normal.
Not by a long shot.
A situation can happen right now and your mental health can be unbalanced. Mm-hmm. Certain situations in life cause our mental health to be unbalanced. So I feel like there's no such thing as normal. And like I say, with personal experience with ADHD, I have cousins, I have my brother. ADHD is nothing different than, you know, a kid running around that had a whole lot of sugar in their system. You just got to find out what bring them down and find out how to mellow them out, period.
Right.
That's my personal experience. But I love it. I love coaching kids, just coaching in general. But when I'm coaching my autistic kids and my kids that have ADHD, I'm laughing with it because you want to see them smile. When they're smiling, they're enjoying the time. And then you have to pay attention to how they're smiling. Some smiles are not, oh, I like this. Some smiles are, leave me alone. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention and learn how to adapt. If you're not paying attention and learning how to adapt communicatively, then no, you're not going to understand what autism is. You're not going to be able to coincide or cooperate or communicate with people that do have autism and ADHD. But then look in the mirror yourself. You might have autism or ADHD too.
Yeah.
But you want to say, I don't have that. Like as if it's some type of disease that is just like
floating around.
Right. Like what in the world?
I caught it.
Yeah.
And I just get irritated with that because it's just,
One thing I could say though, Ed, and this is like to anybody in general, is the fact that you even observe that and take the time to understand, because not a lot of people do. Yeah. There's more people in the world that do not understand, don't care to understand, don't even want to understand. Just do what the F I told you. And that's it. Get it done, you know? Whereas you are a good teacher, you are a good coach because you are stepping back, you're self-aware, which is very rare. You know, they say 90% of people think they're self-aware when only 10 to 15% truly are. Mm-hmm. And you are truly self-aware that you can step back and say, hey, you know what? It's not about me as the coach. It's about them as the children that I'm teaching and that I'm coaching. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this one has autism and you've already recognized, you hit it right on the head. Oh, this is a visual learner. This is a physical learner. This is someone that needs to hear it. This is someone that needs me to demonstrate it. The fact that you even did all that just shows that you are miles above a lot of coaches and teachers out there.
Yes.
I try, you know, I love the kids, but then I have young adults and adults that I coach as well, mm-hmm. who have ADHD, who have autism. And then you have coaches from youth to professional football where they tend not to want to talk to them and be like, oh, hey, you did good with the last one. You want to talk to this one too? And I don't mind because I love it. I love being the highlight on why the kids keep coming back. So yeah, you need a coach, holla at me.
And for the teachers, the coaches, the parents, mm-hmm. but mainly the educators in the school system. I honestly want to say this, and this is off the topic of what we're supposed to be talking about, but because I've been seeing all these videos, I have to address it here and now. You say that you want to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. You say that you love kids. You say that you want to help. Keep your hands off these kids. Mm-hmm. That part. If for some reason that you feel like that this is too much and that this child just hit you mm-hmm. because they have this disorder, you need to take your behind somewhere else because your temperament is not allowed. Mm-hmm. You are not in any way, form, or fashion to put your hand on any child because you're frustrated or mm-hmm. this child bit you. Like, what gives you the right to feel that you could do that? And then you want to make it seem as if you never did anything until social media mm-hmm. brings it out. Because trust and believe, this happened before back in the day. We just didn't know about it because mm-hmm. we didn't have social media to bring it to light. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody that a situation happens, we're all like this.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. But how many of those people, when people say like in the comments, well, they're just recording. They didn't do anything. They did do something. They recorded it. Mm-hmm. They did their part. You wanted them to step into it and really get down to the bottom of it when they felt like, let me do the most important piece, which is recording it. Yeah. Because if we don't have the recording, then what do we have?
Nothing.
It's not about what you say, it's about what you can prove.
Yeah. Exactly. So with that being said, yeah, people are going to continue to do what they want to do, but I promise you, mm-hmm. if I found out that somebody been touching my daughter, mm-hmm. me and you going to have problems. And there ain't going to be no cops involved. So it's okay.
We might not have a podcast.
Well, this wouldn't be the raw talk then.
Right.
No, I actually agree with that, Sam, because you know I used to work in daycare. Mm-hmm. And so I used to work with children that had autism. And it was like they were very, very physically violent, two of them. And I mean, I would get bit and slapped and scratched, and like I sometimes would bleed. And it's like you just have to have that empathy and that sympathy when you're working with children like that. They literally have no idea what they're doing to you. They just want what they want. They need what they need. They can't communicate to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about, oh my gosh, how scary is it for them in that situation?
Right.
That there's this adult that's supposed to be helping me. I can't freaking tell them what I need, and they're hitting me.
Right.
Like, how terrifying and traumatizing is that for them?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have seen teachers harm other children. And you know what I did? I couldn't whip out a phone to record it. And so I did go and call the state to report them and call my supervisor to report them. Do you know how long it took for those teachers to get fired or to get removed because I didn't have any proof? Yes. And I had to call on 2 different teachers. And one of them, it was an autistic child. And she got her fingers and she like pushed him really hard here. Like, stop that right now. You better stop hitting me. I'm like, girl, he does not understand you. What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I just took him away from the situation, but I didn't have the phone to pull out.
Right.
So I didn't have the proof. All I had was, I saw her do this. I saw her do this. I saw her do this.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you know, we're short-staffed. Oh, well, you know, we really need her. Oh, well, you know, she's really covering. Oh, okay. So let me call the state. Let me call corporate.
Mm-hmm.
And it still took a week for them to come and do something.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, when I wasn't babysitting her, what was she doing?
Yeah, I'm a mandated reporter. I have to as a coach.
Yeah.
I'm CPR first aid certified. I can't say I've had the experience of being scratched and bit.
You've been slapped up.
It
by
hurts.
You've been slapped up.
Well, yeah, okay. So play wise, yes. But angry, nah. It's more so like they don't want to mess with me because I got this daddy look. My daddy look be on, and they be like, all right, I'm not gonna mess with him, even though he's short and little. I'm still not gonna mess with him. So, because look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think me being short be a reason why like kids don't like really mess with me, because they be like, wait, how old is he really? I still look, I'm 40 plus. And I still get kids to this day when I'm coaching be like, hey, Coach Ed, how old are you really? So then I like to have fun with it, because I do have autistic kids and kids with ADHD on the team. Mm-hmm. So when they laugh at it, I keep cracking more jokes on myself. So I'd be like, oh, you think that's funny? You think that's funny? Well, how old are you? Oh, coach. Yeah, tell your age. But I don't mind. You know, I love it. I love the fact that I try to bring all the kids together and not make them feel different at all. Because when you make them feel different, then that's a negative aspect that you don't want to have on your football team. We're supposed to be a family.
Right.
And they are all brothers, and the coaches, we like uncles and dads. I love the kids like they my own. So, yeah, but I feel like y'all that been bit and scratched, I salute y'all, man. Cause, Lord, playtime, I've been kicked. I've been scratched during playtime. I've been hitting places I don't want to be hit no more. But yeah. Regularly? Nah, I haven't experienced none of that at all.
Oh,
they always laughing at me.
It's just,
am I funny to y'all? Y'all let us know. Am I funny?
If it's not funny, it's because you haven't known him that long. But
yeah, and you don't have a sense of humor. You just don't have a sense of humor. Go read about autism. How about that? Go mess with some people that got autism.
Sure. Get on my nerve.
What month is this? What month is this?
March.
March is what month?
It's not. It's next month.
So April is what month?
Autism Awareness.
Let them know what month it is.
March is Women's History Month.
I know. Salute to the ladies. Salute to the ladies. Salute to the ladies. You feel me?
Thank you.
Y'all month ending.
Whatever. At this point, anyway, like how you said. Next month is Autism Awareness Month.
So y'all make sure y'all get out there.
Yes. So if you know anything about, events that are around your area, look it up, Google it. It's easy. And see what events are around. And if you want to know how to be a part of something, how to help uplift a community, go to these events. Don't be scared. No one's out there to hurt you. If anything, they're afraid of you. If anything else, they are afraid of you. So I feel like the best way to understand is to get out there and do your due diligence, understand it, understand what you see. Because you could look at a child and say, oh, they have autism, but you don't know what levels. What are there, 3? My daughter's 2, the nonverbal, but I don't even think she's considered nonverbal anymore because she says certain words you wouldn't consider it.
I don't think she's
starting to talk.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. So I want to dive into, with autism, how does it affect you? And if not, how do you feel about it? So if it hasn't affected you in any way, that's fine. But how do you feel about it? Me, I could start off just by saying that it affects me in a way, good and bad, because I get to learn my daughter and understand how manipulative she can be. When I say them words started kicking in, Lord. And it's like a breath of fresh air. Why am I getting ready to cry? That's crazy.
Because it's raw.
It's raw.
That's why.
You're feeling it.
Man.
And it's okay to cry.
I hate that because I'm a little crybaby.
We know that.
No, but it's like, it's good, but then it's scary.
Yeah.
Because it's like, who is going to love my daughter the way that I love her? But all you guys see is I feel like all everybody sees is a weapon. That, like back in the day when you watch those old movies with kids with disabilities and stuff, and people would kick them out of town and tell them that they couldn't bring that child because they didn't know how to act. It's like, how would you treat my daughter if I was no longer here? And I always say, God, let me live as long as I can so my daughter doesn't have to go into a facility. Let me stay here as long as I can so I can protect her, because somebody may not understand her humor. Somebody may not understand her playfulness and take it as, she's being violent or whatever. And it's just kind of like, I don't want this life for her. When I mean life, not the autism, the judgment. But yet we're judged. We're judged every day, color of our skin, whatever the case may be, which is still crazy as heck. But now it's, your child has autism. Now people want to kick you out of restaurants, which we've been kicked out of IHOP. Thank you. Going back to Denny's.
That's a story for another time. So watch some future episodes on that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Not right now. But when I tell you, it affects me in a good and bad way, because I see the good in her and I see the bad in people. And it's just, how do you divide that? How do you, if not dividing it, how do you make it come together to where people understand her, she understands them, she's not judged for who she is? But then, do you even want to get to know my daughter? Do you even want to get to know other people who have autism? Or do you just want to sit there and judge all day and just say, dang, I feel bad for their family? Because to be honest, on our end, ain't nothing to feel sorry about, because she has a village, not just the ones that are right here, but outside of this camera. And it's just, I feel like it's sad for people, the mothers, the fathers, the single parents that have to do this on their own and try to figure out what the next day is going to hold. I feel all that pressure on them because I've been through it, still going through it. But it's just, how do we work together as a community to build them up? Because you can't say, oh, I love kids, all adults with whatever type of issues. No, you don't, because you judge them. So how do we uplift them? How do we make it right?
That is a good question. What do you think, Brittany?
I love how you just skirted that over to me.
It's like he got it and then said, skirt.
Okay, well, as somebody that struggles with neurodivergence, the best thing you can do is to accept them for who they are, is to meet them where they're at. And I think that you're already doing that, Sam, with your own daughter. You know, Ed's already doing that with the kids in his school. I do that when I worked in daycare. You know, it's all about meeting them where they're at, understanding that no matter what level they're at, typically it's not their intention to be offensive. It's not their intention to be rude. It's not their intention to like hurt you. It's literally their intention that they're trying to communicate what they need, what they want, and then it's your job as somebody who's not judgmental to put aside your own feelings and your own biases and really understand like what's actually being said. What's the conversation that is actually happening here, instead of like, I don't know why they act like that. They're freaking crazy, or whatever web of crazy you spread in your own head. No, stop, put all that aside and look at the situation for what it is. What is happening right now? If there's a meltdown going on, well, what happened before the meltdown? Was there something taken away? Are they hungry? Like, obviously it depends on your child, right? And it depends on who you're working with. But like just stopping and putting that aside and realizing, okay, what's the situation in front of me?
Yeah.
I can dig it.
So do you think that having ADHD affects you in a negative way, or does that lift you up? Like, does it empower you because you have this? Because you can use ADHD and autism to your advantage.
Yes. And so that's a hard question that I'm still asking myself to this day. Okay. Because on one hand, I think that my ADHD does help me, because I can hyper focus. I can get really into something. I can flip the switch and do something differently if I need to. And they say like a lot of times neurodivergent people actually make the best entrepreneurs, because we can keep going and keep going and keep going and fail and fall over and keep going and keep going and keep going. And oh, what's that? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's that over there? And so that's the positive part of it. But the negative part of it is that, like, my own personal experience is that I'm very logical. So that means if there's a problem, my first instinct is, okay, well, this is how to fix it. Like, this is what you need to do. This is how you fix it. This is how you get it done. Where some people might not want that. They're not asking you to fix the situation. They're asking for empathy, or they're asking for you to listen to them, or they're asking for you just to hear what's going on and just absorb it. But the ADHD mind is like, oh, no problem. Okay, fix. Here's the solution. Here's the resolution. And then it comes off that you might lack empathy, that you're being rude, that you're being disrespectful. But in my brain, it's like, well, if there's a problem, we fix it. Instead of, okay, wait. Maybe we don't need to fix all the problems. Maybe we need to like analyze the problem, understand it a little bit better. But that's where my own spiral can sometimes happen, where if somebody upsets me or if I get like negative feedback, I will spiral. I go into 17,000 different ways I could have done something better, instead of being like, okay, I messed up, lesson learned, let's move on. No, I can't do that. I dwindle in it. And that can be something that's very mentally exhausting. Yeah.
Yes. Very. Very. Yes.
So
it's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight mentally.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
A lot of weight
mentally. Just you
mentally.
saying that, I felt like, not being funny, like when you were explaining that, I felt like I had to hold my breath, because I'm like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
To deal with.
That's my daily life.
I honestly feel like you just lifted some weight off yourself just saying that right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, because from what I'm getting, it's like you really, really beat yourself up sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And
even when you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is a good space for you though too. Like, we don't know. This podcast can open up a lot for all of us that we didn't know we had, so I appreciate you, Brittany.
Yeah, thank you.
Letting us all know that. And Samantha, it's okay to cry, baby. It's okay. It's because people don't know your struggle. And when you shed tears, people see your pain,
Mm-hmm.
not understanding the journey you've been on.
Right.
So you got to understand them tears is, yeah, you may have some pain in them, but it's a lot of joy in them too.
Yeah.
So,
But it's hard to decipher, like, especially when you're taking care of a child with autistic needs every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when does my mind ever get a break? Because I'm already being told you don't sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you need to sit down. You need to just breathe. And it's like, I'll breathe when?
Mm-hmm.
I'll breathe. Just know I'll breathe. And that could be me crying in the shower, real stuff, crying in the shower, crying on the toilet. Like, it's just whenever I could get a break, that's when that happens. And even when she's taking a nap, you know how you look at kids and you be like, oh my God, they're so beautiful and I wouldn't change this in the world. And da-da-da-da. But I know if I wake you up, you about to give me some. I gotta run. But I don't want to, because it's like the minute I see her, I'm like, you get on my nerves, but I love you so much. So it's like it has ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
when I was growing up, I had epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
I had an epilepsy from 1987 to 1993. Ooh, I just told my damn age right now. Anywho, so when I was younger than I am now, I had not ADHD.
You had ADHD, Ed? How did you cure it?
I was epileptic. I had grandma seizures. I had grandpa seizures. I had a seizure called Todd's paralysis seizures. All the type of seizures you could think about, I had.
Mm-hmm.
So in elementary school, I caught the little yellow school bus. And on that bus, I was with kids that had autism. I was with kids that had ADHD. I was with kids that had Down syndrome. I was with kids that had mental disabilities, on the school bus. And I can recall one day, one of the kids as a child hit another kid. And he wasn't hitting him because he wanted to hit him. He was trying to play with him. Mm-hmm. And the other kid didn't know he was trying to play with him. So he reacted in a violent way and took his helmet off and hit him with his helmet. Because I don't know if y'all ever seen the kids that had seizures, they used to wear helmets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he took his helmet off and he hit the kid in the head with his helmet, not realizing that the kid was just trying to play with him.
Okay.
The kid with the helmet on had seizures. The kid that was trying to play with him had autism. We didn't realize that till we got to the school and the nurse had to assess the situation. And I feel like nowadays, all schools need to have someone who specializes in autism, specializes in ADHD, because the nurse or the school counselor, those are not people that specialize in that. All schools, especially in California, there's so many schools in California where we need to have somebody that actually specializes in autism and ADHD in the schools. Because you want the school counselor or you want the school nurse to help out with situations they have no ability to help with.
Right.
So then your child is coming home having issues, but you trying to figure out, okay, well, how we going to help? The school trying to figure out how to help. Easy. Hire somebody that do autism.
Yeah.
Simple. So for y'all that's watching, California State, if you're a superintendent, principal, hire people that do autism and ADHD. So it make it easier for your teachers. You make it easier for your counselors. You make it easier for your nurses that are at the school, because we are all a community.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So
I think Sam, you can agree with me here. As a parent who has a neurodivergent child, you are the biggest advocate for them.
Oh yeah, 10 toes.
Mm-hmm.
10 toes.
That is something I do wish, Ed, was implemented in the schools, because my daughter has ADHD also. And I fought tooth and nail to get her a diagnosis. And then I fought tooth and nail to get her 504 plan.
Yes.
Because they don't see it. They don't, oh no, they're fine. They just need to do their work. They just need to pay attention. They just need to sit down. They just need to focus. You think if my child could do all of that, she wouldn't be already doing it?
Right.
You think I don't talk to her at home telling her, hey, pay attention at school?
Mm-hmm.
And then her tell me, Mom, I can't. It's hard, or it's too hard, or the teacher talks to me in a certain tone and it shuts me down. And I'm like, okay. But as a parent, with your child having neurodivergence, autism, ADHD, a lot of the time it's the parent advocating, and a lot of the time the parent is not even educated to advocate. So,
ooh, say that one more time for the people in the back.
yes. So it would be very nice if we had something like that where somebody could be like, "Oh wait, I see why you're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Let's explore this a little bit more." That's too much to ask.
I like that.
You're right. It's too much to ask, but it's the right thing to ask.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Because we
100%.
need it. We need it today. We need it across the world today, and even in the colleges. I go to Trade Tech right now, LA Trade Tech.
Yes, graduated 2014.
And they have multiple programs for people with special needs. You feel what I'm saying?
that.
And I'm in the class I'm in my Chicano studies class right now. One of my guy that sits next to me is a youngster who has autism. And for some odd reason, he cleaned to me throughout everybody in the class. Now, remind you, it's Chicano studies.
Is it the height requirement?
It's
Never mind.
It's only 2 African Americans in the class.
I was just
and the young man who's always clinging to me, he is Chicano, but he considered himself Hispanic.
Mhm.
So ever since the first day of class, he clinged to me. Since the first group setting we had, he clinged to me. I come sit in class late. He move his seat and sit right behind me.
Mm.
So every day I'd be like, what's going on, Jay? He'd be like, hey, you understand what's going on? I'd be like, I got you, don't trip. I'm going to screenshot my notes and I'm going to send them to you. He said, yeah, because I don't know what he's talking about.
Mm.
And I'm like, don't worry about it. Did you watch the videos? He's like, yeah, I love the videos. He said, Selena was beautiful. I said, hey, we all thought that. We all thought Selena was beautiful. So
Yes.
right now we're learning about Chicano music and the way Latino music has brought its own genre of music worldly. So, for him to learn that and then know that he has ancestry that do music, he loved that. So now last time I seen him on Wednesday, hey, coach, I was listening to Selena. Her voice is so beautiful. He said, I can fall. I said, yeah, no, don't quit your day job. But I know a song you sing.
You neither. Don't quit your day job.
I wasn't singing it.
You was trying. When you turned your head like this and you poked it out like that.
I was showing you what he did to me. That's what he did. And that's how he sounded. I'm just telling you what it was. But we started laughing. He was like, thanks, coach. I got to sit by you every class, so I know what's going on. I told him I don't mind you sitting next to me. It's nothing for me.
Honestly, today was pretty great. I feel like we covered a lot of stories that we really need to get off of our chest. Mm-hmm. And I honestly like how we dived into the kind of like the misconceptions about autism and, how they're just so brilliant and unique in their own way. I feel that we just need more support, more love, more guidance, because even though we may have our own experiences, we also need to understand more the educational side. And other people also need to understand that it's okay to scream, cry. It's okay because you're human. Mm-hmm. So always living your truth. Don't try to butter it up to be something that it's not, because all these stories that you hear around here, you're going to get that gentle parenting kind of talk. And that's not what we're about. So I want you guys to share your stories and send it to our email at info@perfectlypuzzled.org. And if you want to reach out to any of us, our emails are on our website at www.perfectlypuzzled.org. My name is Samantha.
And I am Ed.
And I'm Brittany.
Yes. And stay tuned for our next episode as we get a little deep into our journey regarding our company, Perfectly Puzzled Foundation, and how we're trying to get our sensory gym and bus going, and the highs and lows in the people that like to lie in our ear. So until next time, have a blessed one.
Make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff.
And comment what your favorite part of this story was.
And if you don't like it, still comment, because most likely we'll read it and put you on blast. Why? Because we're Raw Autism
Perspective
Podcast.
Thank you.